Right folks, good morning and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today it's the 22nd of April 2022 and you're joining me on the A75 going out towards Newton Stewart currently, and this is part 2 of episode 4 of the ABR 12-month UK challenge, and it's the Scottish Uplands. Basically just last week, as you'll have seen hopefully if you've watched my video from last week I did the east coast of Scotland and then working my way inwards towards Moffat, Elventhorpe, Sanker, that general neck of the woods, but this side is all focused over on the west side. So initially I'm heading up to Cairngorm now, then Newton Stewart, then I've got a room booked at a hotel at Portpatrick, which isn't one of the waypoints I must admit, but it's a place that I've visited before. Such a lovely little fishing village, I couldn't resist since I'm going to be so close. And then again the following morning, tomorrow Saturday, I'm going to be going up to Girvan, which again is also not one of the waypoints, but the whole benefit of these is the flexible, you can add on if you want, there's no issues there. So I'll be going up to Girvan tomorrow, and then from Girvan I'm going to be cutting across and coming back down through the Galloway Forest. The weather forecast for today is pretty good, as you can see, and I think it's going to be very similar, if not slightly better, tomorrow. I'm trying out my new sat-nav as well here, which I've got for the bike. I'm not going to leave it on this bike, and I'm not going to leave it in that position either, but at the moment it's just a temporary fix. I'm on the 2018 Husky today. The one I did the other video on from last week when I did the east side, that was my new Husky, the 22 plate one, but I did that many miles on that video that it was due its first service, and so rather than present it to the dealer with like 300 or 400 miles over what it should have been, which would have been a bit cheeky and a bit naughty, I thought I'd use the older one because this got serviced a week or two ago, so it's good for 6,000 plus miles. So this is a bit of a test for the sat-nav, just to see how it performs on the bike. Newton Stewart, take a right, take a left. Might as well go in this way rather than the A75. No problems. I ain't going to argue with the tractor with great big spikes on the front like that. So I'm reliably informed that there are a couple of petrol stations here, so I shall probably just top the bike up once I get into Newton Stewart itself. Right, I shall fill up here. I think I've got about 100 miles of fuel left, but it won't hurt just to top it up. So I'm just going to have a wander down there to that water and then just take a photo because it looks too good not to. That's very nice. Very steep steps in. One, two, and then up here. You can smell the muck spread in here, the countryside. Certainly reminds you where you are. So I can't remember the last time I came to Portpatrick. It must be before COVID. So, you know, you're looking at 2.5 years ago easily. Such a beautiful part of Scotland. So I'm looking for the B7084. You are standing on Scotland's most southerly point. It is a place on the edge, surrounded by cliffs and views across the Northern Ireland, Cumbria and the Isle of Man. got to try and get a picture here. Be wrong not to. Hi there. Could I be cheeky? Would you mind just taking a picture of me? Sorry.
Hold these. Don't move the piece of paper. No, got it.
Do you mind?
That's absolutely fine.
Oh, that's great, thanks.
You mean you want the lighthouse in?
Yeah, and the sign if we can get that in.
Sure.
Yeah. Excellent, I appreciate that. It's always a problem when you get to these places. Thank you very much.
No problem.
And the bike didn't blow over, that's always a bonus. Yeah, so Scotland's most southerly point. Right, Portpatrick, here we come. I'm glad I could make it through to the lighthouse. There had to be a way, didn't there? Property down there. Gonna have to get a picture here. Be rude not to. welcome to Portpatrick. Let's have a look up here. Definitely never been up here before. Let's have a look up here. Very nice indeed. It's almost like a little bit of a whirlpool going on down there. Let's have a look down here. Just looking for possible drone shots. That's quite nice. I could fly through there, should be able to do. Plenty of flat areas to take off from and land. Should be fine. Right, let's go get checked in. I never know how close my head is to those holes. Should be okay, as long as it doesn't get too windy tonight. But yeah, beautiful little port this. Right, I shall get checked in and I'll come back to you shortly. Good morning everybody, it's Saturday today, the 23rd of April. I've woken up in Portpatrick village
to a beautiful sunny day. The forecast today is 18 degrees, so I'm looking forward to that. I've got my breakfast booked in for 8. It's just gone about 7:05 at the moment, so I thought I'd just come for a nice leisurely stroll down here into the little harbour, little port area, and I'll just give you a little show around. But it promises to be a beautiful day today. I managed to get the drone out last night, which was good, and although it was a bit windy and I was a bit nervous flying it, especially over the water, because I haven't flown it for about 6 months. So you get out of touch with things a little bit about how things work, but it all came together well and there were no mishaps. So hopefully today I shall get some more footage done between Portpatrick and Girvan, and also when I'm going back through the Galloway Forest. So here's the bike. I came down, checked on it this morning just to make sure everything's okay. Nobody's touched it. I'd have been surprised if anybody had it done. That's the mount system I'm using on this trip. With the Garmin Montana. It's basically just a RAM jaw clamp on the bars and then Garmin's own mount for the device. I've just wired it up to the battery, but I have ordered a specific mount which will go onto the handlebar clamps. It'll be more stable, it'll be lower down, and then when I get the screen put on the bike, it'll just be tucked in nicely behind that as well. But, so this is the 2018 model that I've come on because, as I said yesterday, the other one's due for its first service, and I didn't want to end up doing this trip, which would have been probably 300-400 miles, and presenting it to the dealer at nearly 1,000 miles instead of 600 and something. But it's been absolutely awesome coming up, no dramas at all. I'm finding them a very competent bike, to be fair, even for touring on. So this is Portpatrick Bay. It is absolutely stunning. The water's relatively still. That is beautiful. So I thought I'd just have a little walk down here just to show you this. This area here, presumably at some point, is where they used to bring boats in. Maybe some sort of like a narrow boat. Not literally a narrow boat like a barge, but some sort of small craft. And then there's a bit of a tunnel there. Not quite sure what all that's about. But if I can just get over here. There's a commemorative plaque on the wall here. Let's have a look at this. So I'll show you what's above me in a minute, but it says here, in honour of the Portpatrick lifeboatmen who fought bravely to rescue the Princess Victoria, the 31st of January 1953. There's like a granite memorial there. And you've got that nice little inlet there. That's where you can see the water. It's very picturesque. And then this, I'll show you this down here. This has always fascinated me. Let me try and work out how to get down there. Let me come back round. It's very slippery here, so I've got to be careful. But there, you've got a nice little archway coming through there, so presumably the boats will have sailed in through there. And then up this little channel, and then up to that section that I've just walked down from. In years gone by, well, that is a lovely view there. So I just thought I'd show you this here. This is just down by the little harbour. These are all the local, I suppose, official buildings. The one on the left is the community workshop. You've got the harbour office, Portpatrick Harbour Community Hub, and then you've got a drying room, which is the end building, or the end structure there, just prior to the large stone building. But what made me laugh, you look at the roof, and they've still got the Christmas decorations up on the roof, all the lights, Merry Christmas, and so forth. So everything moves very slowly here, at a nice steady pace, with no rush. They'll get around to taking them down at some point. And there you have the RNLI Portpatrick lifeboat station. And there's a shop in there. You can buy various things to help fund the organisation. Okay, so that's the actual lifeboat itself, which will no doubt service quite a distance, I would imagine, on this coastline. I wouldn't imagine they'll have too many coast guards or lifeboats in this vicinity. So this is just another view. This is the other side of the little inlet that I showed you a few moments ago. And just up at the top right hand side of the screen, that big white building, that's a hotel. I have had a look at it, but I've never physically stayed there before, but I prefer to be actually in the village or in the town here by the harbour. So that's just the other view. This is looking back then towards where we've just walked. Again, you've got the lifeboat there, which you can see hopefully. I'm just going to walk up to this little cliff. You can walk up this little bit that I'm coming up to here. Just want to show you this, see if I can get up there and then just get a high vantage point. So yeah, I just wanted to show you this bit here. So it seems everywhere at the moment, even in your little remote villages like this, everybody is supporting Ukraine, flying the Ukrainian flag, and why not? Let's have a wander up. A bit rugged here, just got to be watchful where I step. So this is the vantage point, so I'm virtually up where the flagpole is. It will unfortunately just come into view in a moment. There it is, that can't be helped. Then you've got an anchor, but what a view. And then just over on that little section of land there, you've just got a bit of a lighthouse. Not quite sure if that's still functional, but there is a shop at the side of it. So it may not be functional any longer, it might just be part of a souvenir type environment. Flying in support. And that's the hotel, the vivid purple place. So I'll just show you this place here. This is called the Smugglers Cove. And again, this has been here for many years, as long as I can remember ever coming to Portpatrick. And they sell, amongst other things, various sort of ornaments suitable for your gardens and so forth. Imagine having that in your garden, that'd be terrific. It's like the ape, the orangutan off Planet of the Apes. But the properties here in this village, I mean, they're just outstanding. Beautiful, you know. Just like traditional little, they'll have been fishermen's cottages, won't they, at some point, possibly. Right, I might go see what time it is and see if I can get my breakfast. So I'll catch up with you in a few moments. Right folks, good morning. Saturday, 23rd of April. So I've just checked out of the waterfront. And now I'm just going to make my way initially to Stranraer, go get some fuel, and then up the coastal route to Girvan. See if I can do some drone footage on the way. And then over towards the Galloway Forest. Another promising day. 18 degrees we're promised today. I say we're promised, forecast. Promised is a strong word, isn't it? So sit back and enjoy the ride. Alright, so the coastline's just going to open up. And over there, as the camera's picking it up, there's the Girvan plug, Alicia Craig, if that's how you pronounce it.
parking area coming up here, so let's just slow down a little bit. And let's just get pulled in here. Let's have a look at this. Again, you've got all these lazy sods here dumping all the rubbish. Why? Why do people do that? But yeah, that's a strange being, isn't it? Like I say, I gather it's a volcanic plug. Certainly quite impressive. Alright, let's see if I can get a photo here. Foot. Alright, so remember that building. Very unusual, isn't it? So here, 500 meters off the coast, the Russian cruiser Variag, which won glory in the Russo-Japanese War of 1904 to 1905, found its last resting place. On January the 27th, 1904, the first rank cruiser Variag and the gunboat Koretz were blockaded by a Japanese, squadron comprised of 15 vessels at the Korean port of Kemipo. They were offered the opportunity to surrender and turned down the flag, but the Russian seamen rejected the ultimatum and accepted an uneven battle. Variag and Koretz suffered extensive damage during the battle, with no apparent possibility of continued resistance. The Russian seamen scuttled the ships and returned to Russia on board foreign vessels. In 1905, Variag was raised by the Japanese and was introduced into their navy under the name of Sawyer. In 1916, the cruiser was repurchased by Russia and got back its previous name. In 1917, she was sent to Britain for repair, but because of the revolution and civil war in Russia, the legendary ship was set adrift. In 1920, Variag was sold by Britain for scrap en route for dismantling. She grounded near Lendlefoot, which is where we are now, and subsequently sunk. The exploits of the cruiser Variag, which makes us bow our heads to the valour of Russian seamen, will always remain in the memory of grateful future generations. So there we go. A bit of history. Right, hopefully you'll have just seen some drone footage there. Bit windy, but I managed to do it. Sometimes it's worth just taking a bit of a risk. I'm not sure I would have flown it out too far to sea, because I think that would have been just signing the drone's death warrant. But just going over the beach like that, can't see a problem with that. What's the worst that can happen? If it looks like it's starting to go out, I'll just crash it, just drop it down. I'd rather have a damaged drone than no drone. Welcome to Girvan, gateway to Elisa Craig. So I'm just heading out of Girvan now. I've put Galloway Forest Drive into the sat-nav and it's directing me there in theory. Right, here we come, the Galloway Forest. Looks to be clear coming round. A little bird. What a lovely twisty road this is. Somebody in planning was obviously a motorcyclist. Right then, so I've just arrived at the Galloway Forest Park. I've just parked up, stretched my legs, had a Mars bar just to refresh myself. And I'm just going to have a wander over and just see if I can get a vantage point just to show you the beauty of this. There's some absolutely high, proper stunning mountains here. I'm just going to try and find somewhere where I can get a good view of them to show you, but we'll see. There is a bit of a viewing point in front of me. It's blocked off at the moment, but we'll see. It might only be advisory. I'm sure I can get past it and get some footage. Yep, so there's the Husqvarna. It's doing remarkably well. Hasn't failed me at all. It's outstanding. Right, let's have a wander over here. So there's a sign there saying danger, don't enter, structure is temporarily closed, apologies for any inconvenience. And they've put a feeble little tie around there and nothing around this side. So to me, if they really didn't want you to enter, I'm sure they would have done something a little bit more permanent than that. So I'm just going to go out on this walkway. It's quite bizarre, all these little, I think they're like friendship padlocks, aren't they? And then this is just looking down the valley here. Just pan around. So this is just the beginning of the Galloway Forest. Absolutely outstanding. Right, I just thought I'd quickly show you this bit here. This is literally just at the end of the walkway, back in the car park. But I just wanted to show you how glorious the weather is today. See the bit of woodland there, they've done a lot of felling of trees. And then just coming around, that's the direction I'm going to be heading in a few moments.
But look at that great white fluffy cloud there. That just shows beautifully, doesn't it, how clear the skies are at the moment. Right, I better get kitted up and get on my travels again. Catch you with you shortly. Okay, right. Well, the map stabilises itself out. I shall continue. Get my gigs right. So I'm just going to have a nice little leisurely drive through the forest. I haven't got any destination in the sat-nav. I'll just see where this road takes me. I've got plenty of fuel in the bike now, so I'm not concerned about that. And I'm sure at some point I'll pick a sign up that I recognise. Might even be able to get a spot of lunch somewhere if there's a cafe or something like that on here. So I've just passed a place there on the left, the Wild Goat Park. I thought I recognised this, and I have been here before. There's quite a few wild goats in there, hence they call it a Wild Goat Park. But this is certainly breathtaking. Very breezy. Obviously very popular is this route with the bikers. I'm not surprised. It's almost a perfect road. Clattering Shores Visitors Centre. I'll continue on the trail. I've just had my Mars bar, so I'm not too bad.
Well, that smells lovely, that two-stroke scooter. It's immense, isn't it, this forest? Wonder how many square miles it actually does cover. That's something I may have to look up, just to be a bit more knowledgeable. Little farmstead there, some horses, or one horse at least. How do you do? That's quite vivid, isn't it? And stunning. Right, we'll see what village this is we're coming into. New Galloway. Please drive slowly and carefully. Let's head towards Castle Douglas. Let's have a look at this little off-roady route here. It's actually a lay-by, but it's a very poorly kept lay-by. It would probably just about pass for an off-road route in my book. Right. Who says I don't do a bit of off-roading? What's this expanse of water here then? Marina. That does look very nice. You have to get in here, don't you? Public slipway. Not sure whether you can get over this bridge. No, it doesn't look as if you can. It's a shame. That's an interesting bridge. See if I can get a picture of the bike here. But yeah, that would be an interesting bridge to try and get over. Right, I'll come back to you in a moment. Off we go. There's only so much scenery I can show you all in one day. And you've had 2 days worth. So I've spoilt you rotten. Now you're going to be wanting more constantly. I'm not sure where next month's tour is. I'll have to have a look on that. But it'll have to be damn good to beat what I've just done the last couple of days. So I've just left Kirkcudbright on the way home, and now I'm heading towards the A75. Right folks, I'm going to wrap the video up about here. I'm still on the A75, but I'm literally just a few miles, a stone's throw away from joining the M6, where I'm going to be heading down south obviously, and then coming off at Kirby Longsdale exit, which is junction 36. So I really hope you've enjoyed watching the second half of this Scotland's tour for Adventure Bike Riders 12-month UK challenge. I've enjoyed it, and the good thing is I've managed to sort of experience Scotland over 2 weekends running, so I can't complain at that. I'm not quite sure where next month is. I'll have a look when I get home, put some sort of an update on the community page of YouTube. But please, if you've enjoyed watching this video and the style of videos that I do, and in particular just Scotland, then please consider subscribing, hit the notification bell, leave a comment, the usual bits and bats. Thank you everybody for watching, take care, and I'll see you on the next video. Ta-ra for now.